Hey there, Atocha Dave. This is the fourth installment on the Atocha Dave series on YouTube. And I've started each of the other three with a quick video of some photographs of how I met Mel Fisher and what I was like in either 76, and I'll show you 1985 as well. So I did meet Mel Fisher in 1976 outside of his treasure galleon. The way I became an Atocha diver and the way I got interested in sunken Atocha treasure and other treasures from other fleets such as the 1715 fleet is I was about to take a picture with Mel Fisher outside of his treasure museum in Key West, and it's the replica of the galleon, which had eventually sunk, by the way. And Mel was standing right next to me. I was ready for the photograph, and all of a sudden he flicked his cigarette away and he said, "Hold on." He took out a solid gold bar from the Atocha from his pocket and he plucked it right in my hand. So we have this 1976 photograph of where Mel Fisher, and that's me on, I guess it would be to your right-hand side. And there's Mel putting a gold bar in my hand. So in 1976, I was addicted to the Atocha and wanted to become an Atocha diver and or crew member of treasure salvers in any capacity, whether I was working in the museum or diving, it didn't matter. Over the years, eventually I did get hired, and then it's kind of fun. You take a picture from 1976 and you look down below here, that's a picture from 1985 above the Atocha site. So here I was not employed by treasure salvers. There's me and Mel as a diver for treasure salvers. So the dream became a reality. So that photograph right there is Mel Fisher and I. There's a picture of Mel on the dive ladder. I do have some pictures of me and Mel on the dive ladder as well. Actually, if you look right here, quick story on this one was I couldn't find, or I forgot my buoyancy compensator, BC. So I borrowed one of the young ladies, and that's why I'm wearing a teal, pink, and blue buoyancy compensator. But anyway, I'm still diving next to Mel Fisher, and I had found a ballast stone, and that's what I'm bringing up right there. And you can see Mel looking at the ballast stone. There's a picture of Mel. If you look over here, these are some interesting finds that had just come in. This is me in 1985, and we were bringing in these items. This particular one was some sort of amulet, likely made of turquoise, probably of Native American, Mexican origin. And here's an arquebus, all encrusted. This we don't know what it is. But again, there's a group of us who, as we came in, looking at the artifacts that were discovered that particular day. I always like to show this photograph here. This is what it's like to be a diver looking for sunken treasure. This is the office that you go to every day. That's what your office looks like. So pretty cool. So what we're doing today, it's kind of fun and interesting. I have a lot of sunken treasure from the Atocha and Santa Margarita, sometimes just laying around the house. So what we decided to do is randomly, we'll hold up an item, we'll tell you that it's available, we'll tell you the cost, we'll describe it a little bit, and if you're interested in it, just like in all my other videos, call me at 702-374-2148. Again, that's 702-374-2148. Or SKYVAPER247 if you want to email. Phone number again, 702-374-2148. Email SKYVAPER247 So with that information, all you need to do is say, hey, I like that piece you have. Everything is subject to prior sale. If it's been sold, I'll let you know. If it's available, I will let you know as well. So let's start off with some Atocha coins. Again, this is stuff, if the camera person could kind of look around the table here. These are all different items that are just in the house here. They are for sale. I do have a primary core collection that is not for sale, but anything that I'm showing at this time is for sale. So let's start off with, this is an item which is not for the beginners. This is an advanced collectible item. This is an Atocha coin of 2 real size. It is also a rare coin from the Lima Mint, Lima D coin. So I've sold some of these recently, and I've also traded for gold. Some people sent me some US $50 gold coins, and we did trades of gold for Atocha. So I'm going to quickly take this one out of the Home Depot holder here. And again, this is a grade 1 Lima D Atocha 2 real coin. There's your shield. And if you look on the other side, you're going to have your cross with lions and castle. So for the non-beginners, this is an advanced coin where when you have a coin like this, because of its size, its rarity, and its desirability, this is a $5,500 coin. These appraise at $9,600 and are sold for $9,600 in the Florida Keys and Key West. So we'll do $5,500 on this one right here. So again, if you're interested, say I'm interested in the Lima D 2 real for $5,500. We have a grade 3 Atocha coin, and this is a B assayer with the X's. So although that's considered a rare assayer as well, and another very good coin, this one is not nearly as rare or as expensive as the one that was just shown. So I'll show you this one. This one's very beautiful, by the way, in that it's a grade 3 coin, but is closer to grade 2 in quality. That's your shield side. Again, B assayer with X's. That's your cross side shown right there. Nice coin. It would make a very beautiful pendant if worn around your neck like that. And in Key West, we call those Key West dog tags. So on this one here, being that it is a grade 3 coin, we'll do $900 on this one here. Again, coins that are in the house, would rather them be in somebody else's possession, around their neck, being worn, or as your first Atocha coin. Certainly these are not my first coins. Every coin that I'm showing you here comes with the certificate of authenticity that was issued with it. These were 1985 or 86 issuances. And again, this is the $900 grade 3. This is going to be a little bit fun. I'm going to show you 2 other coins that I currently have. They're both in a shop here in Las Vegas, Nevada. They're being sold in the shop, but at least I can show you that there are some others available. Thank you. And I don't know if this will pick up, quite frankly, on a camera with another camera, but I'll do the best that I can. So this coin here is a beautiful grade 1 Atocha coin. I believe the certificate doesn't show the grade. It may say grade 1 or grade 2, but you can tell by the quality it's closer towards a grade 1, 2 coin. So this is a $1,900 coin. That's the reverse. It's of great weight, meaning almost full weight. And there's your shield side. So if you're interested in the $1,900 grade 1 Atocha, let me know. Although I don't know if the certificate actually says it. Sometimes the certificates do not have the grades on them. It's not that uncommon. This one here is a grade 3. Similar to this one, we'll do $900 on the grade 3. Very interesting story about this particular one. This coin is the type we know where they came off of a chest or out of a chest. And literally the side shown here, the cross, is beautiful. That's like a grade 2 quality. However, the side that was taking the brunt of 400 years of being submerged in salt water, that's the cross side. So I love it. It's a heavy coin, a big coin, very big planchet, round coin, gorgeous coin. Here's the certificate that comes with it, as seen here. And again, I'd put this at a grade 3. So we'll do 900 on that one here as well. Also, I have a, we'll do $95, a musket ball from the Atocha. What I like about this one is many of the musket balls sold from the Atocha literally do not have any coral incrustation on them. They're just a solid lead round ball. This one comes with certificate of authenticity, but I love it. It's got the beautiful white coral incrustation on it. That's a $95 Atocha musket ball recovered in 1985. There's a certificate as well. So those are some items that I have in a local store here. Again, these are available and they're in my possession as we speak. Let's see what else we got in here. I do have some certificates, and I believe I have 2 or 3 pieces of Atocha pottery shards. So you get a certificate like this, and then you get a piece of a pottery shard recovered from the Atocha. And on those, let's do $75 for a pottery shard. Usually a pottery shard is going to be about 4 inches or so by maybe 3 or 4, 4 by 4, 4 by 5. So they vary in size. I think I have 2 or 3 of them, and again, with certificates as well. We're switching fleets here. This is kind of really neat. This is a 1715 fleet piece of a gold ring. So I'm going to hold this up and hopefully there isn't too much glare here. This is a known type pyramid style ring found on the 1715 fleet. This has all of its original documents from Cobb Coin, which is Mel Fisher's company. This particular ring was salvaged in 1986. The certificate was certified in 1988. Here is an actual photograph on the certificate of the ring piece. It's a high carat ring piece. Again, a pyramid design with beautiful etchings engravings, cuts on the ring. Here's the actual artifact. I'll pull it out so you can see it closer. It's artifact number 067A from the 1715 fleet. And what is really fabulous about this is literally, if you know what the Spaniards did, or pirates who raided the camp, which they did in 1715, there was the salvagers camp and it was raided. If this ring was raided and taken, it's very common that a pirate would literally cut this up in a division. If there were 7 of them, each receiving 1 share of this size. Because gold was very valuable back then. Today this looks like a small piece. However, back then, a piece of gold of this size was worth probably 2 to 3 large silver pieces of 8. So, gorgeous artifact. Very rare that you find gold on the 1715 fleet. It is a plate fleet of silver coins predominantly. Jewelry that's 300 years old is very desirable. And quite frankly, when you watch TV shows like I did last night, the gentleman holds up a ring and it has emeralds in it from the 1715 fleet. It's a $600,000 item. So not every one of us is going to go buy a $600,000 artifact from the 1715 fleet. Here you could pick up an artifact inexpensively. Well, let's do this one at $1,900. So again, this is a certified Mel Fisher 1715 fleet recovered with all your seals over the picture, Cop Coin Company, and over Mel Fisher's name as well. And again, high carat gold. I don't know the exact purity, but it's not one of the lower carat gold rings. And they call these, at the Florida State Museum, they call these fancy gold rings. In terms of anything that's not plain is called fancy. Okay, so that's pretty much the items I have in this particular book at this time. What I also wanted to do was have a little fun and show you some other items that are other areas of interest of mine. And if they're of interest to you, let me know. That's what they're here for. Before I move on, I did want to quickly show there was a book by, he has passed away, Robert Weller. And in this particular book is the exact same style ring that I just showed you, although mine is a piece of a ring. If you would look down here, where my finger is, that's the same pyramid and same style etched ring that I just shared with you. So it is a type of known ring that is not common, but they have found these on the 1715 fleet. So everything is good, great provenance on that $1,900 ring fragment piece. So 1715 fleet, and now we're going to go over to Santa Margarita. We did Atocha. This is quite interesting. By the way, I think we already got a call coming in for some of the items. This is quite interesting. This one does not have a certificate, but we don't have to worry about anything in terms of it being a genuine artifact. We know what it is. And more importantly, for collectors, the value is this seal right here. This is what we call a vintage Treasure Salvers 1980 era tag, an artifact tag. So this Atocha artifact number is 527, Treasure Salvers Santa Margarita. This is a silver fork. So it's 2-pronged, and it's of this design right here. And it's absolutely amazing to think that 400 years ago, This was the possession of a person aboard the Santa Margarita, 1622, and they would literally, a noble person, eat using a solid silver fork. In books that I've read, Christie's auction of 1988, forks are very, very rare. You got to remember something. The fork from 400 years ago, they do not exist. Over the 400-year period, they're either melted down, lost, and these primarily are found in museums these days. And I will actually show you where you can see a very similar fork, if not almost identical, in the 1622 Shipwreck Museum display of Atocha treasure at the Queen's Museum, which is the book shown here. This is the actual photographs of the forks that were out on display in the museum. So I'll show you these, and I'll show you how amazingly it matches up to the Santa Margarita one. So if you look at this one right here, it is of the exact same design, the exact same dimensions. And I'm gonna hold up my item right here, right next to it. And if you look at the two, you're gonna say, wow, that's incredible. That's exactly what they showed from the Atocha, and that's a silver fork. So these are highly rare, very desirable artifacts. Santa Margarita, no certificate. We know it's Margarita, artifact number 527. When you would go to the Mel Fisher website and look up the artifact 527, you do get a printout, which is this right here. And it does show found in 1980 off of Key West, the Santa Margarita site, a silver fork. And there's the tag number 527. So I'll send you this as well, but you could look it up as well. It's got 100% legitimate provenance, if you will. So there's a great piece right there. If I didn't mention again, that's a $1,900 artifact. It would appraise in Key West for much, much, much more than that, but I'd let that go for $1,900. So that's Margarita encrusted silver fork. This is a fun item I got here. We were selling Atocha coins in 1985, 86, 87, 88, our division. And one group made a hand-painted tiled box such as this. And this is one of them. So these were beautifully produced. This is a high quality box. I don't know, you cannot obviously feel the weight of it, but it's very heavy. And these are called, as the certificate shows, gold bars from the New World. And what you receive with this certificate, I'll kind of tell you a little bit about what it says, but I'll show you what the contents are, is there's a genuine Atocha coin here, and then a replica made out of 6.5999 silver of what's called a finger bar, the type bars that were found on the Atocha. So you basically have 6+ ounces of pure silver there. Silver's going for $19 an ounce. Just let's round it off to 20. $20 an ounce times 6 is $120 worth of melt value in the silver right there. Plus you have an Atocha coin. Plus you've got the cost to make this box. So if you look at this as $100+ in melt alone, if you look at the coin as being a $600 coin, say, you're up to $700. You got about $100 for the box And of course, it's a vintage piece. So I would do this one for $895. $895. You're the owner if you're the first one to call. And again, certificate of authenticity with a replica gold bar. And basically it says the 24 karat gold plated bar, which accompanies your silver coin from the Atocha, is a museum grade replica of the type bars known as finger bars. And again, those were found on the Atocha. So this is a vintage piece. It's absolutely gorgeous. Don't see these often. $895. Heavy box. I don't know what wood that is. It may be mahogany. Beautiful. Alrighty. Moving right along. I've already said 1900 and $895 so many times. Let's have some fun. Sometimes people are on a budget. They're looking for a different shipwreck coin. And they say, what do you got for like $25, $30? So we'll do this one at $29. This is a Admiral Gardner, beautiful 1808 dated X-Cash coin. This is from a shipwreck off the Goodwin Sands. And again, one of the things about this is it has its original vintage certificate, and the coin itself is of the highest quality that basically I've ever seen come off of this wreck. If you see there, you got your 1808 visible date, perfect. And then the reverse side of the coin is your X-Cash, which is absolutely gorgeous as well. So $29 for the owner of that. This is a El Cazador coin. This would make a beautiful pendant if somebody wanted to wear this. It's a 2 real coin from the El Cazador. It's silver. But again, over the years of doing this, I have the eye for what makes a beautiful coin. This has got that unique wear to it and just the shape to it that it would hang beautifully. And it's got a gorgeous crown. And that would look beautiful if you put a 14 karat gold bezel around that. So this is a beautiful, beautiful coin. And we'll do this one at $75. And that's El Cazador with the certificate as well, saying El Cazador. Okay, so shipwreck, shipwreck, shipwreck. We got 2 more shipwrecks. One of them I'm sure you've heard of. One of them you may not have heard of. This is called the SS Central America. The SS Central America in 1857 was traveling back to New York via coming directly from the Coloma gold fields. The 49ers were mining gold. The ship left San Francisco, went through Panama, and sunk off of basically South Carolina. These are actual California Gold Rush 1849 gold nugget. And this particular one is of amazing, beautiful shape. Some of these are just little round pebbles with no artistic and or eye appeal. This one is larger and it has a gorgeous eye appeal. And this particular one, as shown in the brochure that comes with it, was actually found from the safe that was on the SS Central America. And there were 3 bags of gold that were recovered from the safe. This is the robotic machine that pulled the satchel out of the purser's safe. And then there's one of the bags that held the gold nuggets. So this one came from the purser's safe. This is a $395 SS Central America gold nugget. It's the only gold nugget you could ever own and actually say it came from the Coloma gold fields and is an actual gold rush era nugget. And again, certified by NGC as well. Comes in this nice pouch also. So that one, $395, gorgeous eye appeal, SS larger size Central America gold nugget. I also have, although I'm not going to carry it at the moment, a approximate 50-pound bar of silver from the Atocha. A lot of you are what are called stackers and realize what's happening to gold and silver these days. Gold is at over $1,800 an ounce right now, 11-year highs. Silver's at 19. Just a couple of months ago, it was at 15. So if you buy a 700 troy ounce bar from the Atocha, you have, let's round it off again, $20 an ounce, 700 ounces, $14,000 worth of silver in one of these bars. And of course, because it's an Atocha bar, you have the history of saying, I could look in a book like this, look at the manifest number, look at a listing, and you'll actually see that your bar was on the Atocha. So I have a bar that's approximately 700 ounces. It's available for sale. It's got approximately 14,000 in silver, but we'll do 2 times melt. So let's raise it up a little bit to make it a more even number. Let's do 29K for the Atocha silver bar. No certificate on that. It was lost with the spoon certificate. I'm sorry, the fork certificate. But at the same time, when you got an Atocha silver bar, you know it's authentic because they don't make replicas of those. This here is another Shipwreck coming into the home stretch here. This item is from a shipwreck which you may have heard of called the RMS Titanic. Today, if you look for an artifact from the RMS Titanic, the only items that are legally allowed to be sold, for example, if a shoe was recovered, you cannot buy a shoe from the RMS Titanic. However, you can buy a piece of coal. The only other item that's actually from the shipwreck itself that is available for sale, that is not coal, is what's called a rusticle. So if you look at the graphic here, here's a picture of the Titanic as it lay on the ocean floor today. You see those bacteria rusticle type rust objects hanging down? Those are called rusticles. So these legacy boxes, as they're called, actually contain a sample of, you get a beautiful booklet here, you get a certificate of authenticity. This is actually box number 28 from a limited edition. And then literally in this one is a sample of rusticles that were recovered off of the Titanic. These were formerly in the possession of the vice president of RMS Titanic Company, the company that owns the actual salvage rights to the Titanic. When the big piece that came into port was recovered from the Titanic, it was conserved in a large conservation tank. When that tank was emptied, these were able to be gotten because they came off the big piece during conservation. So this is a $395 beautiful presentation box. And then what happens is you can take this out, and this is how it presents. This is your RMS Titanic membrane case with your inner round box containing rusticles from the Atocha. So it displays beautifully. This goes in here, and at the same time you got beautiful colored book. And what I actually like about this, and I'll show it to you quickly, is it actually shows the piece where these rusticles came off of as it was raised out of the water. And they actually know where this 20-ton piece was located on the Titanic. So that area outlined there is exactly the part of the ship that was recovered. There's the piece that was recovered. There's rusticles that were recovered off of that. I have a few of these available. This particular one is one of the nicer ones. So if you call and you're interested in this, I'll know that you're interested in box number 28. If 28 is gone, I could give you the option of one of the other boxes that are available. And again, each one has a unique look to them in terms of the pieces that are in there. Beautiful presentation box as well. Okay, we're gonna go into outer space. We're gonna go to the Civil War. We're gonna go back in time, and then we're all done here. This one laying here is a timber from the Mary Rose. This is a $295 piece. It is of extreme rarity. When they needed money to make the Mary Rose Museum in England, they did sell some of the wood that was recovered. And this is a rare lucite cube with a piece of the actual wood in there. And Margaret Rule is the archaeologist who's in charge of the Mary Rose Trust and in charge of the excavation and salvage. So this is the Mary Rose Trust. This is a piece off of the flagship of King Henry VIII. And this is from the Mary Rose, which sank off of Portsmouth in 1545. It is literally in the strangest, worst shape I've seen. There's a little bit of a crack over there. Somebody drilled a hole here that goes through. I don't know why whatsoever that would be done. However, we're not looking at it for the cube. We're looking at it for what's inside that cube right there. And then again, there's another piece you can see from the back side. Mary Rose, King Henry VIII, 1545. We're going to the Civil War, then we're going into outer space. This is called a U.S. Union belt plate. It literally is what you would call today a belt buckle. It was worn by a Union soldier. This is a non-dug, meaning it would have come home from the war. It would have been in possibly a family's collection as a remembrance of their grandfather or whoever it may have been. It's got a gorgeous patina. It retains its back claws, as they would call them. So we could do this one at $295. We'll call this U.S. belt plate, non-dug. It's got a nice bend to it over here. I kind of like that. What's the history of that? Meaning, was that a round ball or musket shot or something that maybe hit that and bent it? Who knows what the history of that bend is. But all in all, a fairly nice, authentic, non-messed with, played up piece. Beautiful patina, U.S. belt plate. $295. We're going into outer space. The connection with these artifacts are a lot of the people who are familiar with the 1715 fleet, they know that that's located everywhere from Fort Pierce all the way up towards Sebastian, which is also right near your Cape Canaveral. So a lot of times people who collect 1715 fleet material had a connection with the space race in 1965 and the Apollo missions, obviously, to the moon. So I have 3 items here that were in my collection. This first one is actually from 1969. And what I like about this one so much is this was given to usually a Northrop Grumman employee or a NASA employee, and it's actually made from metal recovered from the lunar module. There was a strap that was on board the lunar module, and there was another piece as well. I'm going to read what it says in the back here. It says, "This medallion contains metal from spacecraft Columbia and Eagle that took astronauts Armstrong, Aldrin, and Collins on their historic Apollo 11 mission that resulted in the first landing of man on the moon." So there again, the Eagle has landed July 20th, 1969, made from materials recovered from the spacecraft itself. And we can do this at $79. This one here is vintage. It's actually written in pencil, Apollo 11 on the side here. This is made by the Metallic Art Company of New York. And there's your 3 Apollo 11 astronauts in high relief. This is a large, I believe, bronze piece. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to remove it and show you the other side as well. And you can get an idea of how big this is. And we can do this at $95 with its original box as well, presentation box. And again, this is right out of 1969. The very last item laying around the house here, this is another 1969 piece talking about the Apollo 11. This one is, I believe, gold plated. It is of proof design. It's made by the Wittenauer Precious Metals Company, which I believe is the watch company as well. And this one is absolutely gorgeous. If you take a look at that, I'm not going to touch it because I don't have my gloves on, but the back has another beautiful, I believe, eagle or something there. I always touch this only with my gloves because it is a proof. And this one we would do at $295. I've not seen another one of these before, by the way. And again, this is the original Wittenauer Precious Metals Company box with it as well. So that's it. Atocha Dave. We showed you availability of items from the Titanic, space memorabilia, Civil War memorabilia. We did definitely Santa Margarita as well as Atocha. If you could do me a favor, I've got about 6,000 views and maybe about 7,000 on another YouTube video. If you could subscribe down below there where it says subscribe, I would appreciate it. It allows me to bring you more items and a little bit of the history of those items from the Atocha. I know there is a big following out there, and I would appreciate that. And I'll do more of these videos one last time so you don't have to rewind. If you want, just get a pen and paper ready. I'll give you a telephone number. All you got to do is call me, tell me you saw something you liked. If it's available, it's yours. Phone number is 702-374-2148. Again, phone number is 702-374-2148. The email is skyvaper247@yahoo.com. Anytime you want to see any of my other videos, literally just go to YouTube. You don't have to type in anything other than Atocha, next word, Dave. That is where you'll see all my videos on YouTube. This is Atocha Dave wishing you well, hoping you're safe, as well as your families. And thank you, and see you soon.